Hello everyone. Welcome to Vap Fashion's YouTube channel. My name is Eunice. In this video, we'll be learning how to make this beautiful blouse you see on the mannequin. This is a bustier blouse, and the hem of the blouse is asymmetric. And it also has this beautiful structure that goes from the underbust of the left hand side and then all the way. It just goes all the way to the back side of the right, and then it also has a yoke at the front and back side of this blouse. In my previous video, I showed us how to draft and cut this blouse. So this video is the sewing part. So we are basically going to be sewing in this video. If you haven't seen the video on how to draft and cut this blouse, I'll be dropping the link in the description box and also in the comment section so that you can watch and learn how to make this blouse. I hope this is something you're interested in learning. If this is it, make sure to keep on watching till the end. And if you're yet to subscribe to my channel, kindly click on the subscribe button to subscribe and ensure you put on your notification bell so you receive a notification every time I upload a new video. Without wasting time, let's get right into the video. So here are our front pieces, the bustier you can see. So I have my linings, I ironed hasty to all the lining pieces, and to the main fabric I ironed the lace and the satin together. That's I gummed them together using my hemming gum. So that means I laminated it. And then I ironed hasty to the wrong side of the satin and also pressed the breast pad, which is also known as wadding. So these are our three front pieces. I repeated the same thing for the back. I ironed the lace and the satin together, so I laminated it as well. I have the second lining also. So to stitch the front pieces together, I'm going to place the side piece over the center piece and stitch on ½ inch, starting from the hem. I'll repeat the same thing on the other side. After stitching the bustier together, I'm going to join the back piece on the side. So here I'm stitching all the fabrics together. I'm joining the fabric to fabric on the side. So everything I'm doing lining separate and fabric separate. After joining the bustier, I'm going to shape the sides by joining the back pieces on the sides of the front piece. I hope you understand what I'm saying. I'm done joining the bustier and I'm giving it a very good press. You can see bustier is sitting really well. This is what we have. You see? So, and then next what I went ahead to do was to shape the sides. So this is our back piece and these are our front pieces. I went ahead to shape the sides here. I did the same thing on this side. So I'm shaping fabric together, lining to lining. Okay, so this is lining. You can see I shaped the lining separately and I shaped the fabric also separately. So now the next thing we want to do is to create the asymmetric shape we're going to have at the hem of our blouse. The right side of the blouse is going to be higher than the left side. So this is our right side here. So I want it to come up a bit higher. We don't have that asymmetric shape and then it just blends into it. So I need my chalk to do that. Okay. So this is it. So at the side here, I'm going to go up by the length of the blouse I'm making it is 26. So at the side here, I'll be going up by 2.5 inches. Don't want it. So I'll go up by 2 inches and then I'm going to curve it 2.5 inches rather. Can you see? I'm curving it to this point and then I'll also curve it to blend into the shape that we have here. Can you see that? So I'll bring in my scissors and then we'll cut it out that we have here. So the right and the left side is longer than the right side. You see? This is what we have here. So you can do any curl, just curve it well like this. So this is it now. So the next thing I'm going to do, I'll have to place the lining right and wrong side of the lining facing right side of the fabric because it has to be on the same side of the lining. So you can do this together. You can place the lining facing the wrong side of the fabric so that you can get the actual shape. So this is what I'm doing. I'm placing them wrong side facing wrong side. And then I'm going to trace out the same shape. You have to cut out the same shape, okay? So you can see this is the shape I have here. Can you see what it looks like? So this side is high and this side. So you have this asymmetric look at the hem. So now this is my crinoline. I'll be sewing the crinoline to the lining. This is to give it that wavy look, and it has this nice structure at the down part. If you leave it like that, it will just fall flat. So you just want it to come out well. So I'll be stitching the crinoline to the hem of my blouse. I'll go up by half inch and then stitch the crinoline. For this part, you need to use your masking tape to cover it up, or you use bias to tape it. That's to tape the tip here. And that's what I'll be doing. Then I'll come back and show us how we turn the hem. So I'm done stitching the crinoline at the hem here to the lining, and then I went ahead to stitch to join the main bodies and the lining with the half inch. Remember, I placed the crinoline half inch away from the hem, so I went ahead to stitch the down part, and this is what I have here. So for the center back, I've already fixed the zipper to the center back. As you can see, this is what we have here. So this is it, and this is what I have here as well on this side. So now the next thing I'm going to do is to close up the center back. You want to stitch, I'm going to be stitching from this side so that I'm seeing the zip, that stitch I stitch while stitching my zipper. So I'm going to stitch here close like this. I'll repeat the same thing on the other side. I repeat the same thing on the other side. And then the next thing I'm going to do is to sew the yoke. Now this is our front yoke. I'm going to place the yoke facing each other. Net does not have right side, neither does it have wrong side. So I'm going to stitch the yoke now. This is how I'm going to be stitching it. I don't want to notch the neckline. So I'm going to stitch on quarter inch, really, really small. After stitching on quarter inch, I'll trim it down, and then I will turn it to the other side. Now, of course, the side I'm going to stitch this is it. The side I'm stitching first is going to be the right side of the lace, of the net rather. The side I'm stitching first is going to be the right side of the net. I'll stitch it on quarter inch and then reduce the seam allowance. After reducing the seam allowance, then I'll turn it to the wrong side and stitch it again. This is so that we don't notch and we have that neat finishing inside. And then this is for our back. We have the yoke for the two sides of the back. So for one, I'm just going to stitch the neckline and then turn the center back. And then for this second one, I'm going to have button loops. So for this second one, I'm going to have button loop, and I've used my net to create a strip that will be put in at the center back. So here I'm just going to divide it into two. Just going to divide it into two like this, and then I'll fold it. So this will form the button loop. So here, what I have is about 3 inches. Okay, so I'll place it like this on the right side, and then stitch it, and then stitch it just the same way. I'm going to stitch the neckline twice. That's the same thing I'm going to be doing. That's for the front neckline. It's the same thing I'm going to be doing here, so I don't have to notch it and everything is neat. Okay, so I'll go do that and come back and show. Sewing the zipper, that's the lining to the zip allowance, and this is what I have here, and this is what I have here. So now it's time for us to sew the yoke, both the front and the back yoke. So this is our front yoke. As you can see, I've stitched the neckline. Like I earlier said, I used French finishing for this, so you can see how neat it is. Everything is looking well piped. Okay, I repeated the same thing for the back. Can you see? And this is the second side of the back, the one with the button loops. You see, everything is coming out really beautiful. So now to sew the yoke to the neckline. Okay. First, I folded into two. Can you see? You fold into two, and then notch the midpoint. So having notched the midpoint, I will also fold the neckline of the bustier into two like this, and then I'll notch the midpoint. So you can see I notched it. So this is just a little more than quarter inch, not up to half inch, which is what I'll be using to sew it to the neckline. So I'll bring in the yoke like this. Remember, I already notched the midpoint of the yoke. So I'm going to place the yoke like this. Make sure that the midpoints are aligned. I'll pin it, and then I'm going to pin it this way. And you see, once you centralize it, it makes it easy for it to align here at the side. So this is it. I'll also pin it towards this side. So now I'll take this to my sewing machine and then stitch on half inch this way and then all the way. So now to make it easy for you, if you can't start from here and then stitch all the way to the other side, you can target this notch that we have here at the center, then stitch it this way and then stitch back this way so that the sweetheart neckline comes out well. So once I'm through with that, I'm going to use my lining also to turn the neckline. So meaning that my lining will now have to face it. So this is what I'm going to do. You can see we'll have to turn it lining facing the fabric. So automatically that means it's the right side of the lining because this is now the wrong side of the lining. So I'll face it and then also stitch following the sweetheart neckline shape that I have here. And then this is our back yoke. I'll also place the back yoke like this. This I'll place it this way, making sure that the armhole side faces the armhole here. And then I'll secure with my pin and then pin up to this point. Remember that the yoke didn't get to the zip allowance. I cut out the zip allowance from the yoke so you can see where it's topping exactly. So I'm going to also stitch it and then I'll bring the lining and place it over it like this and then stitch also. So you can decide to stitch them together. Put the lining in between, sorry, put the net in between the fabric and the lining and stitch at once for this one. And do the same thing. For this one, you need to be seeing it while stitching it. I will do that and then I will come and show us how I'll be bringing it out from this small armhole area. Remember, it's inseam sewing we're doing. So I'll go do that and come back and show us the yoke. And for the front neckline, you can see I notched it. You want to make sure you notch it so that it makes it easy for you to iron. Now so that it relaxes well. You can see I cut out my excess zipper. I've done that already here. So I'll be bringing out the blouse from this part, from this armhole side that is open. So all you just need to do is just gently bring it out. See? So this is what my neckline looks like from the wrong side. And this is what it looks like at the back here. At the front here. Okay, you see it's coming out really beautiful. So the next thing I'm going to do now is to give it a very good press and then I'll join both shoulders together. After joining the shoulders, I'm going to fix the basic sleeve. It's just the basic sleeve. Can you see? It's just the basic sleeve. So I'm going to sew the basic sleeve to the armhole and then I'll come show us how we're going to cut the cape that we'll have on one side. Okay, I'll come show us how to cut the cape. So this is it. So this is what our blouse with asymmetric hem looks like. I'm loving this blouse. It came out really beautiful. And you see, this is what the inside looks like. So in this video, you have learned how to neatly sew your blouse with inseam finishing. And here I stitched my bias to the armhole. I didn't weave it. You can either weave it or stitch your bias to just pipe the armhole. And that's what I have here too. Can you see? This is so neat. And this is what the front side of the blouse looks like. Can you see our asymmetric shape? It's coming out very beautiful. You can decide to take this really high depending on your size. But like I said, I'm making this for a mature woman, so she doesn't want to show too much of her hip on this side. So now the next thing we're going to do is to create the cape and also our yoke. Can you see? And also the yoke is sitting really pretty. Everything is really beautiful. And I've also gone ahead to fix buttons at the back here. You see at the back yoke, I just button it up. I have two button loops, so I'm just going to button it up like this. So now the next thing we're going to do now is to cut the cape that we're going to attach to this blouse. And this cape will go from one side of the underbust. The cape will go towards the right side. And remember our asymmetric shape is on the right side. That's the side where the cape will also go to. So from this underbust here, I'm going to take this measurement. This can also be done on your mannequin or on the person's body. But just like I'm doing, you can also do it on a flat surface like this table. So I'm going to measure from here, from this underbust. Can you see the way I'm placing my tape? And then I'll take it, you see, over the bust like this. Can you see? Over the shoulders. Just curve it. And you see this is on top of the hand now, on top of the sleeve. This has been because this is my client's measurement. Can you see? I'll take it all the way and then it will stop here at this, where the armhole is at the back. And here I have 23 inches. See how I took the measurement? I started from under the bust here on the left side. I took it this way over the bust on the right side and then round here. Of course, this doesn't have to go under the sleeve. You just take it this way, this way, and then to the midpoint here, around here, of the armhole, the back armhole, and that is 23 inches. So here I have my hard gum stay that I'll be using to give the structure to this cape. And you also need your boning, and you also need crinoline, which is optional. For me, I'm just going to be using hard gum stay and my boning to give structure to this cape. Okay, so we already took our measurement and we got 23 inches. I'll be working with 24 inches. That's plus my half-inch seam allowance on both sides. Okay, here is my gum stay. I'm going to fold it in total. So when it's unfold, that's 12 inches. So I'm going to measure 12 inches from here. So this is 12 inches. So now we have up to 12 inches. At this folded part, I'm going to measure, I'll go up by 7 inches. And this is plus my sewing allowance. So that by the time I stitch the down part with half inch and the upper part with half inch, I'm going to be left with 6 inches. So 7 inches, my sewing allowance is included. So I'll mark 7 inches here. And then I'm going to measure the length, which is the width, sorry, which is 12 inches, and this is where our 12 inches stops. So at this 12 inches mark, I will come up. I'm going to be measuring 3 inches here. Here is 7 inches, here is 3 inches. So that's sewing allowance inclusive. By the time we're done sewing, we're going to be left with 2 inches here, and for this side, we're going to be left with 6 inches. So this is it. I'm going to connect from this point to this point. I want it to be a curve. The down part is the part that is going to be straight. This part will be a curve. Can you see? And then I'll connect like this. So this is the shape of our cape. Okay? So I'm done cutting both capes, and I also went ahead to cut the satin. As you can see, I've ironed my gum stay to the doll face satin I'm using. I also repeated the same thing for the lining part. So I have two here. This will serve as the lining, and this will serve as the main fabric. So for this main fabric, I also cut the lace. This is what we're going to have showing on top of the blouse. I'm not just using ordinary satin, okay? So here I have my gum stay. I'm going to place gum stay in between the lining. I'm done ironing the lace to the satin, so I have it laminated now. So this is the one that will serve as the lining. So I'm going to take this to my sewing machine, and then I'll stitch the boning over it like this. I'll be starting that I'll place the boning half inch away from this edge. Can you see this edge? And I'll also place it half inch away from the hem. Just take note of what I'm doing. Half inch away from the edge here, half inch away from the hem, and I'll stitch it all the way and stop half inch away from the end here. And I also place one here, and I'll place it this way, half inch away from the edge, half inch away from the top as well, and then I'll stitch it all the way and stop half inch away from here. So I'm placing two bonings on this. I'll go do that and come back and show us. Okay. So I'm done stitching my boning. I stitched up and down. So if you want to add more, you can feel free to add more at the middle. But this is already standing well enough for me. This is okay already. Can you see? It will not fall. So here I'm going to place the lining now. Right side of the lining facing right side of the lace. And then I'll take this to my sewing machine. I'll be stitching this way. Watch carefully. I'll be stitching this way from this edge. Stitch it all the way like this, and then I'll stitch it down here. I'll be bringing it out from the down part. If I have to stitch all the four corners and leave a space, it will be very hard to bring it out because of this boning. The boning is not easy to fold it, okay? So this is what I'll be doing. I will stitch this way, this way, this way, this way, and then I'll bring it out from the hem here and show us the next thing to do. So next I'm just going to notch. This notching it will allow it to relax well. When you turn it to the right side, you'll be able to press. So this edge here, I'm just going to cut it out. Can you see? And then I'll reduce my sewing allowance here. For this edge, I'll also cut it out so that it allows it to come out sharp. And then I'll also reduce my sewing allowance here and then create notches around. Don't cut your seam line, just notch the seam allowance, okay? So now I'm going to turn it to the right side. Sitting like this, you can see. I'm just going to give it a very good press first. You can see this half inch seam allowance I left here. Remember, I fixed the boning half inch away from the hem. I'm just going to tuck it in, just fold it in like this. we have. Can you see? So I'm just going to take this to my sewing machine and then I'll top stitch it. I want to top stitch it, and then I'm going to wear the blouse on the mannequin and show us how I'll be fixing the structured cape to it. You can see it's really standing well. Okay, so I'm going to top stitch it and then iron it and show us. So here's our structured cape. I'm done top stitching it, and this is what we have. And you see it neatly closed up. Everything is coming out so beautiful. So here I have my needle and thread I'll be using to tack it. And this is our beautiful blouse. You can see what our blouse looks like on the mannequin. It's a long sleeve. Everything came out so well. Can you see how the hem of the blouse is giving that nice structure? This is because we added our crinoline to this. So now it's time for us to place the cape, this cape from the left side here, and it will go all the way to the right side. And this is the under bust of the left. I'm just going to place, so I'm going to pin the next one. Can you see? It's just going to go this way. So I want to pin the next point, and then I'm going to bring it here to the back. So remember I said it's going to stop at the midpoint of the armhole here. I'm just going to also secure it with my pin here. Can you see? So this is it. So I'm going to be hand tacking this point. You want to make sure that you tack it very well so that it sits well. I'll tack this point on the bust area here. I can also tack here so that it sits well. I can also tack one here, but this part is the place that will just stand on its own. And then I will tack here to the back. Then maybe just around here, just tack so that the more you tack, the more firm it will be so that it doesn't remove. Okay, can you see how beautiful and nice it's looking? I'm just going to tack all of these points. I also have a rose that I'm going to be placing here. I'll place the rose and then we'll see what we have. Tacking the structure, and this is what I have. And see, it is well tacked. You want to make sure to tack it very firm so that it doesn't remove. Just make sure you knot your thread and tack very, very well. Can you see how beautiful asymmetric blouse is? Can you see the hem here? Can you see how this side just goes up and this side comes down this way? And I really like the effect that we have the coffee brown and the hem of the blouse. Everything came out so beautiful. And this is the spiral rose I was talking about. I didn't add this to the video. I made a separate video on how to create a spiral rose. So I'll be dropping the link of how to create a spiral rose in the description box or in the comment section so that you can watch and learn how to create your own beautiful spiral rose. I just don't want this video longer than necessary. You can see that the video is already long. This is really beautiful. I love the outcome of this blouse. Everything is sitting so well. Can you see? This is what we have. So here is the skirt I made for this blouse. It's a 6 pieces skirt. It's a 6 pieces skirt. Can you see how beautiful this skirt is? It just opens up very well. So I also made a separate video on how to cut and draft a 6 pieces skirt. I'm going to be dropping the link in the description box as well so that you can learn how to cut and draft a 6 pieces skirt with lace. This skirt has double lining. You can see the first lining you're seeing is the satin. We still have another lining inside. So I made a detailed video on how to sew a 6 pieces skirt neatly and finish it up neatly. I hope you are interested in watching that. Like I said, I'll be dropping the link to this video in the description box and also in the comment section so that you can watch and learn how to draft and cut a 6 pieces skirt. Really simple. We have come to the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed watching this video and you learned something. If you did, please make sure to like this video, share this video with your friends, and do not forget to subscribe. Also, make sure you put on your notification bell so you get the notification every time I upload a new video. Thank you for watching and see you in my next video. Bye.